What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all from beautiful Metropolis, Illinois, better known for its Superman stuff, history, Superman stuff and history. Anyway, I'm here on a group vlog with Mr. Nomad Ben. He let me tag along. But anyway, you guys, we are out here at Fort Massac, or Massac, depending on what you want to read. Its origins started out as French. This fort was constructed by George Rogers Clark on June 30th of 1778. And he had about 175 men with him under orders from Virginia to capture the British outposts in Illinois. British failure to re-garrison the old French fort here enabled Clark to enter the Illinois country without opposition. So the British at Kaskaskia expected an attack from the Mississippi River by marching overland. Clark surprising them. He arrived at Kaskaskia on the night of July 4th, 5th, and quickly secured the fort without resistance. And now that history can even go as far back as Spanish settlement. Some people believe that this fort was actually constructed, or a fort for this one was constructed sometime in 1540 while DeSoto and his troops were making their way through this part of the United States. But Mr. Nomad Ben and we're going to check out this fort and the monuments that are in this area. So you guys, let's get to it. He's talking about the sign. As we're walking, you guys, just check out the size of this tree. I believe that is a post oak. Post oaks, they can live a relatively long time. But we're coming across the first marker here, J.C. Blair. In recognition of the efforts of Joseph Cullen Blair, 1871 and 1960, to preserve and the beauty of the state of Illinois through the establishment of Fort Massac State Park in the Illinois State Park System. So the Illinois State Park System goes quite a bit ways. Looks like this state park was dedicated in 1908. Now here is a historical plaque that could better describe the timeline of Fort Massac. Anyway, 1500s, you had Spanish ownership. Then in 1702, this became a French trading post and mission. Then in 1757, it becomes a French fortification to block British expansion. Pretty much the French and Indian War. I think that would be it. Then of course 1764, it is abandoned by the French, and the British take over. 1778, George Rogers Clark stopped here on his way to Kaskaskia. I know I'm going to butcher that, and people in the north are going to get mad at me. And then even George Washington ordered the fort rebuilt. So the history here is only that more impressive. Then it is also in 1908 designated as the first Illinois state park, and they even have Braille. That's really cool. They don't have that at Tennessee state parks. Here they do have some reenactment, and here is one of the reenactors at the tavern.
Clubs here, and you were giving me information off camera. So can you tell me what you were telling me earlier? So what you guys do every
this is the Massac Marines.
Massac. Okay.
And once a month, we it's usually on the second weekend of each month, we come here and at Fort Massac present this stuff for people to see and what things were like in the 1750s.
The early types of gambling here, the old playing cards.
Yeah.
Look at that.
They didn't have the numbers on them or anything back then.
Yeah. But you were telling me on October, you guys do reenactments.
Yeah, October there's a big reenactment here. The whole place is covered with reenactors.
Well, gives us more reason to come and visit you guys more often. Wow.
And aside from there, from the historical reenactor, looks like they have a small garden that they are working on here at the historical site. Kind of curious to see. Huh, bee balm. That's Native American right there.
Cheapest gun of the day. In New France, which went from New Orleans all the way through Canada, all the way up the Mississippi River. If you were a landowner and you had children 12 years or older, and you had slaves, male slaves, they had to be armed in case of Indian uprising.
Oh.
This was the Mossberg of the day. This was the cheapest thing you could buy. So they were very prevalent. They were made cheaply. They were shipped over here by the hundreds. But this is a gun that was typical of civilian use because the long barrel we finally figured out was because of the poor powder that they had. Black powder is not an explosive like modern powder. When it ignites, it burns the entire length of the barrel. So their powder was so bad that they had to put barrels on this long to get any effective fire out of it. Now, these are just some of the accoutrements. Everybody had civilians would have a shooting bag to carry all their stuff in, their powder measures. This is the size of the ball it fires, 16 gauge, 69 caliber. You can shoot, they're all smooth bores. Rifles did not come along yet. All these guns are smooth bores. So you can shoot shot, like a shotgun, you can shoot round ball, whatever, out of them to hunt with. And they're all flintlock, no cap locks. That came along about 1840. This one is a big wrench action. The flintlock works by putting the main charge down the barrel and putting priming, and my peg is swelled up on me. Not my better day today.
It's alright.
That's the problem with black powder. It's moisture sensitive. Sometimes it cakes. It's just done today. It's caked up when you do it.
Do it.
That was so cool, man.
That's how it works.
All right, you guys, if you all are curious what the fort looks like or what the fort did look like, here is a representation, or at least what the fort looked like in 1802. And over here are some of the stuff that you would see that would be used by the Cherokee Nation, Cherokee War Club, although I think this is more Chickasaw than anything else. Also, you have some handmade woven baskets. Again, very impressive for the time. It does look like these are for sale. These ladies, oh, howdy. And these ladies right here are, what are y'all,
Sewing circles.
Sewing circles.
Sewing circle.
Sewing circles, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's dated back quite a bit of ways. All right, time to check out the actual fort. In a way, as I'm walking into it, it kind of reminds me of Fort Loudon. Not gonna lie. Now this is something really impressive. Here is one of the garrisons. They have one of these at Fort Loudon as well. Also at the at the Tellico Blockhouse, but it's a lot smaller than this one. Looks like it is locked, so we can't quite go in there today, but that's okay. So we are going to keep walking around this amazing fort. This looks like this must have been one of the barracks back then, something where the soldiers would stay, sleep, be with their families. They also have another barrack here as well. Looks like almost in a way there was a monument here at one time, but it looks like it has long since been removed. I kind of wish that maybe some of these places were open, but I totally understand, because some of these places you don't want people getting into or getting hurt. But oh, this is cool. Just check out the woodwork on how all this was formed. That's really cool. They would use an axe to cut all that up. And looks like they have some firewood right there. Now I'm just assuming that these are kind of more or less the same, or at least that's what I'm thinking anyway. It looks like almost like there should be like a bell at the top of that. Although I don't think there's a bell, but I don't know. I imagine people would be looking from the north, the southeast, and the west from these different watch points. Looks like there is a you can walk on there's a porch on this one. So you got various firewood. That's locked, of course, so that's a good thing. Some of the doors are nailed shut, which, I mean, I can kind of understand that. You don't want people to break in or anything like that. Kind of looks like that one's still just being held through. And I'm guessing this must have been the general's house. Just check out the woodwork in that. Look how that was all cut. And as there are many firsts in this trip, you guys, here right in front of me is the Ohio River. When Ben and I got out here, it smelled like the sea. Kind of made me feel like I was back in Florida. But this river is huge. In fact, here is a map of how the Cherokee made, or were on the Trail of Tears, because the Ohio River was a very big passage for their removal as well. It's a very sad piece of history. Okay, this makes me feel like I'm back in Florida. But then again, I mean, you also have, I mean, if this is a Spanish, or the remains of the Spanish fortification, which it might be, I can see the similarities on why the two would be together. Actually, this might be another piece to the fort, in memory of George Rogers Clark and his faithful companions in arms, who by their enterprise of courage, devotion, and sagacity won the Illinois country for the Commonwealth of Virginia and for the American Union. This monument has been erected in the name of the grateful people by the Illinois chapters of the Daughters of the Revolution. So yeah, I take that back. This is another part of Fort Massac. And by the way, just check out this statue that they erected in his honor. Him looking out valiantly into the unknown abyss of the Ohio River. And just across the river, there's the bridge and a few tugboats. It's very peaceful, you guys. Very peaceful. I think at one point this used to be, well, maybe, I mean, I was seeing old pictures, and instead of these blunt cinders right here, there was actually a they were actually a like, you could actually tell, like, it was a they had spikes and everything. But now about the tallest thing there is their statue. It does look like kind of looks like there are markers where the houses used to be. And I don't know what the symbolism is behind the rock that is behind the statue. I still think it's cool though. I imagine this probably was here in the days of when this was a Spanish outpost, then a French outpost, then an American outpost. If that's the case, that rock has seen a lot. And it looks like there are some stairs on these garrison areas. So we're gonna check this out real quick. I don't know where Ben's at, but let's walk up here. Huh, lizard. So I guess if there was any like impending battles or with Native American tribes or any other of the American or other European forces that were here at the time, this would be a perfect lookout point. You also kind of have a moat in a way, again, for protective reasons. You could push people down, get fighting again. And again, here is the actual entrance, which we didn't quite notice, but I'm just fine with that because this is beautiful and this is awesome, and it's an interesting piece of history I did not know about. Well, you guys, this has been another awesome stop in the state of Illinois. This is probably going to be the last vlog in Illinois that I do for a little while. As Ben and I, after this, we're heading down into Nashville. We've got 2 more vlogs to check out, 2 more places. I'm excited, so we're going to do this. But remember, you guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Always means a lot. Goes to show that y'all care and that y'all want to see more awesome videos. So without further ado, you guys, this vlog is over.